What's going on is Anton from AntonDaniels.com. I appreciate you guys for continuing to rock with me. Man, this time difference is something else, but I think I finally adapted. And now that I've adapted, I'm about to be heading back in a few days to the United States. And I'm looking forward to spending some more days here and to being back at the crib so I can enjoy both. You know what I'm saying? So it's a vibe. But outside of what's going on here in Tokyo, and obviously I'll be releasing a video at some point breaking down my experiences here in depth. So I got a lot of B-roll footage that I got to go over and so on and so forth. But I'm still tapped in to what's going on in the United States of America. And obviously the big story right now is Derrick Jaxn, which I don't really feel like talking about that because I think that Derrick Jaxn is a Sith Lord. He's definitely put in his 10,000 hours, and I think that motherfucker, his ability to be able to finesse is unparalleled. I think that he's a god when it comes to taking money out of women's pockets. And I think that women deserve everything they get when it comes to how Derrick Jaxn is dealing with that. But completely different conversation. Keke Palmer and Usher. Now, we all know that Keke Palmer is really a lame, right? We know that she a lame. We know that Keke Palmer is not really one of them ghetto chicks like she's trying to make herself be, right? Keke Palmer is supposed to be a lame. And I look at the lame conversation as a compliment, right? Because I'm a lame. I've always wanted to be a lame. I've always wanted to be a nerd, right? Even though I'm a lifetime C student, I think that the lames are actually a compliment, especially when we're talking about the broader society and what their perspective is. Lames are winners, right? We the ones that make the money. We ultimately are the ones that's the most successful. We're the ones that are successfully married, and we have a great life as a result of it. The thugs don't really want to be the thugs, and I've never seen anybody in the hood want to continue to be from the hood. The goal is to get out of the hood. So when I see and I compare, and I was talking about it on the Millionaire Morning Show today, when I see and I compare what a Keke Palmer is doing versus where her life was supposed to be, her trajectory, right? Think about it like this. Nick Cannon was supposed to be the next Will Smith. Now, Nick Cannon went through a phase where he was trying to find himself, but then ultimately he settled in a space where he understood that the bag was more important, and so he embraced who he truly and inherently was. Now, that don't mean that he cannot be out here doing whatever it is that he want to do. He's still like the lame version of Future. But ultimately, Nick Cannon found himself in a space where he realized he was fumbling the bag and he came back to it. Now, the woman equivalent of that has nothing to do with relationships because women are not supposed to be for the streets. But my point is this. Keke Palmer was supposed to be looking at the Angela Bassett's and the women of prestige as inspiration and living her life like that. I mean, this is fucking Aquila and the Bee, right? But instead, she want to be like Sexy Red. She want to be like Cardi B. What she don't understand is that it seems as though, based off of how she living her life, that Cardi B didn't even want to be like fucking Cardi B, and she was willing to do whatever it took to get out of that lifestyle. And Cardi B ain't even trying to drop no more music. Cardi B is fucking in the crib, taking care of her kid, trying to live her life and get that bag at the same time. She won't even leave her man when he was allegedly cheating on her, right? Beyonce ain't leaving Jay-Z while she's selling y'all on that single ladies narrative. And so when you see a person like Keke Palmer and you like, damn, she was supposed to be the nice girl or whatever, and she like the chick in school that's trying to get turned out because she's so, in admiration of the women that's for the streets that don't even want to be in the streets no more. And so ultimately she loses as a result of it. But that's not the only problem with this conversation, right? I look at Usher, and I had an opportunity to go to his show. I documented that and I talked about it and I broke it down, and it was a phenomenal show. I mean, it was one of the best shows that I had ever been to outside of maybe like Coldplay, right? But me and my wife went there, and we went there earlier this year, right? Great show, awesome place to be in. I think Fabulous was there, 21 Savage was there, Tyra Banks was in the audience. It was a great show. And Usher, baby, put on an awesome performance. I mean, when you usually see a lot of the artists that you grew up watching, they've aged out, they can't move the same, anything like that. Usher was a different animal. And I had a different type of respect for Usher because even the way that he handled a lot of his scandals, he handled it perfectly, beautifully. Like, he wasn't one of them celebrities that was messy, out here talking about it, having conversations about it. He just never said nothing. That junk went over his head, and then he kept performing. He just kept doing the thing that he was great at, which is the reason why we subscribed to him in the first place. We never cared about his personal life. We only cared about his music. 8701, you know what I'm saying? Confessions, great shows. But now I see Usher doing some of the same shit that a lot of these newer artists has been doing in order to keep themselves relevant. And he don't have to do that. I'll put Usher in the same category, or actually even higher, as like the Maxwells and stuff like that. But then he's leveraging this situation in order to get views, which in my opinion is a short-term solution to the long-term value of what we look at Usher to be, right? And I'm not tripping on him for the fact that he finessing Keke Palmer. Listen, she for the streets. She decided to be for the streets. Man, that fucking Maybach is beautiful. Check out that Maybach. That Maybach is gorgeous. My S-Class is not the same as this Maybach. This Maybach is absolutely a beast. I love that car. Sorry, just grabbed my attention really quickly. But, Usher he was different from us, right? He had a level of, God, that car is gorgeous. Look at it. Gorgeous. He had a level of credibility that exceeded all of the small little stunts in order to try to keep yourself relevant. But now Usher is feeding into the same machine. And it's like, bro, you better than that. You better than a Keke Palmer in your video water waving in order to get more short-term views instead of your long-term legacy that come along with it. Right? I don't trip off of Usher for finessing Keke Palmer. I'm tripping off of Usher over the fact or the idea that he's better than these small-time gimmicks in order to keep himself relevant. He already got the hottest show in Vegas. What do you need a Keke Palmer in the video for, right? The only real loser in this situation, because I think the baby daddy is actually going to be in a better situation getting rid of her and leaving a relationship. The only loser in this situation is the kids. It's always the kids that suffer as a result of it. And then it's the modern women that don't know what's best for them, that's going to continue to embrace this bad behavior, and they going to follow her right off the cliff. Keke Palmer is not going to be any more relevant than she is today. Usher's legacy is not going to be added to as a result of creating this song. The boyfriend going to be better off because he's going to realize that he finally can find out that she's for the streets, which she always wanted to be a wannabe anyway. And we get to use it as fodder and as an example of what not to do in our lives. I'm curious as to what you guys think. Let me know in the comments. Do you think that this is a good look for any of these people involved, or do you think that everybody loses as a result of it? Let me know. Make sure you tap into the Patreon. The link is in the description. Make sure you get that Teach Hanley 30% off your first order plus a free gift. I love you guys. I appreciate you. I'm going to see you for the Millionaire Morning Show tomorrow morning. Peace.